When it comes to moving abroad, everybody has different priorities. For some people, it's all about the cost of living. For other people, it's all about the weather. In a previous video, I talked about the 10 reasons why we wanted to move abroad. But today I wanted to talk about the top priorities, the things that are really important to me specifically when it comes to choosing a place to move to. So there's obviously a lot of criteria, but I have 5 top priorities. So in no particular order, number 1 is all about the ease of running my online business. So being able to have the strong infrastructure for internet, but also in terms of the business environment, because not only am I going to run my business online and having clients that are mostly from the US, but I also want to have the opportunity to work with local clients. I need to be in an environment where people understand what I do, even though even here in the US, a lot of people don't know that you can make money online or that you can make money on social media. But in general terms, there's a big market for online marketing and all of that. So being in a destination where that is also available, definitely not at the same level as it is here in the US, but having an existing market nonetheless. So having conferences on digital marketing, networking events, and also other people who are doing the same thing. So being able to be in a community with other creators who are doing work online. Number 2 is affordability of home support. You can get home support anywhere in the world. Here in the US as well, if you want to have a full-time nanny, you can. However, can you afford it? That's the problem. So as a mom of 4, I want to be able to have extra support at home without having to break the bank. So being able to afford that care is very, very important on my list of priorities, because that will allow me to worry less about what's for dinner tonight and the rest of the week, so I can focus on the things that are really important to me. Number 3 is the language. So technically I am quadrilingual. So French is my first language, then Spanish, then English, and then a little bit of Arabic. So one of the things that I love to do is to practice my languages that are not English. So any chance that I get, if I see somebody who speaks Spanish, I will speak to them in Spanish because I don't want to lose the language, okay? So practice is very, very important. And growing up in a multicultural environment, that was a big advantage because we were all pretty much fluent in at least 2 or 3 languages by the age of 10 without having to study that language at school, because we had TV in Spanish. I went to a French school, and then Arabic in the streets, and then and English was at church. So everybody had at least Spanish because it was free to learn it, because it was on television, okay? All the cartoons that we watched growing up, everything was in Spanish. Like all the shows that I see here in the US that are from the 90s, I know them in Spanish, like The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, movies like Grease, which is my favorite movie. I know it almost by heart, but in Spanish. So it's kind of odd to watch them now in English because I grew up watching them in Spanish. So I want my kids to be able to be in an environment where they have at least one other language than English. So right now our choice would be French, but it could be any language. The more, the better, because it really helps you as you grow up. You get to connect with people from different cultures because you have that language commonality, okay? So that's something very, very important to me, and that I want our kids to be able to experience that as well. Number 4, just like many people who want to move abroad, it is all about lowering your cost of living. Whether you're moving from New York to Texas or California to Oklahoma, these moves even within the US are also allowing you to lower your cost of living. So now when you want to move abroad, because there's inflation everywhere around the world, okay? But if you are making your money in dollars or in euros or in pounds, you want to be able to go to a country where there's a lower cost of living. That way you will have an, I'm going to say, unfair advantage. And this is where I feel a little odd with this discussion, because in one hand, I like it. I like the fact that you can tap into that advantage, that privilege. But on the other hand, again, it's the whole discussion about privilege. I feel like it's not fair, because how many of us would move abroad if we were not getting paid in dollars? How many of us would move to Morocco if we were getting paid in Moroccan dirhams, or we moved to Cote d'Ivoire if we were paid in francs? Like, how many of us, to be honest, how many of us would do it? Very few, because again, because of the cost of living in many of the countries we're going to. It's 100% unfair and 100% uncomfortable to me to use that privilege. I don't like it. It's the reality, it's the world we live in. It's geo arbitrage, and I don't like it. I don't like it, and yeah, that's just something I don't like. I don't like, and but it's, I have to say, I mean, I have to be honest and say that it's one of the reasons why we want to move abroad, is to lower our cost of living. But honestly, it's not something that most of us will be able to do or willing to do if we were not bringing our US dollars or euros or pounds or all of that. Okay, let's be honest. Number five, the last priority for me is to be surrounded in an Afro culture, meaning not necessarily being part of the Black majority, although that is ultimately the objective. That's a great goal, but at least being in a country where there's a good presence of African culture. When I think about France, for example, as a country, that's why France has always been on my list, is because as a Black person going to France, I never feel uncomfortable. I never feel like I have to see how many Black people are around me, or if I have to act differently because I'm Black, or because France is the most diverse country in the whole of Europe. I mean, just look at the French national soccer team, right? It's like you see Black people everywhere. So if you want to go to Europe but you're worried about the lack of diversity in a country like, let's say, Greece, okay, well, that's understandable. Even Spain, to some extent, when you're thinking about the UK or France, that's where you see a big Black representation, right? So that's why I'm talking about the presence of Afro culture. Like if you're thinking about Colombia, if you're thinking about Brazil, obviously, right? Going to a country where you're not odd because people are like, ooh, a Black person. Like people are used to seeing Black people. It's not odd at all, even though it might not be in numbers a majority, but still it's normal. So that's something that is also important to me. So those were my five priorities. In a different video, I'm going to share with you my top countries if I were not picking Cote d'Ivoire, which country I would want to move to. And there's one particular country that I've been thinking about for over 10 years, and it's not France. So make sure you watch that video next. Till next time, bye.